Hey guys, what's up? Good afternoon. Welcome back to my kitchen. Welcome back to Willow Creek. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day wherever you're watching from. Today is going to be a short and sweet recipe video. I have two super simple recipes that I'm going to be filming for you guys. One is going to be a cheesy potato and ham soup that I make very frequently. It's a good way to use up your canned potatoes. I do a big batch of those every year for canning season, and it's a super easy, simple way to use them. And then the other recipe for dessert is going to be a super simple peach crisp. Now, I also can up a bunch of peach pie filling and apple pie filling throughout the canning season as well. If you want to see how I did that, I have a canning peach pie filling video back on my video selection on my channel. But it's just another super easy way that I can use those up. The recipe itself is very quick. It's very simple to throw together. I myself am super busy between work, having a 6-year-old. My husband also works full-time. We also manage several rental properties together, and we are in the process of building a new home. So life is crazy. I don't have time to spend in the kitchen devoted to cooking all of the time. So I've really been focusing just on super simple recipes that get the job done and don't take up too much time. So if you also are looking for a super simple recipe, tag along. Like I said, we're gonna make a delicious soup together, and we're also gonna make a super simple dessert together. So stay tuned for the rest of the video. So go ahead and get yourself a large pot and get some oil in your pot and start letting the pot heat up. The first two things that we're going to add to our pot are diced ham. I'm going to use prepackaged diced ham. If you don't have prepackaged diced ham, you can grab a whole ham, dice it up from there. You can use larger chunks of ham. Really, whatever you have, just make it work for you. I happen to have some diced, just prepackaged ham that I'm going to be using. And I'm also going to get some diced onions in here too after the pot warms up. I'm not very good at measuring things. You'll probably come to realize that the more that you watch my channel. I honestly just use everything as a guide. I wing basically everything. Measuring is not my strong suit. So I don't know how much olive oil I just put in there. I just put in like a couple tablespoons, just enough to kind of coat the bottom so that we can saute the onions and diced ham in the pot together. So after your pot is warmed up, go ahead and add your diced ham. Now you can use as much as you would like to. I would say probably about a cup if I was to guess, but again, depending on how much soup you want to make, use more or use less. It doesn't matter either way. And if you decide that you want more later, you can always add it to it as it goes. Okay, so as soon as you have some color on your ham and it's been cooking in the pot for a little bit, I forgot to mention I put this on about like a medium. Go ahead and throw your onions in and let them cook down and get some color on them as well, and then we'll move on to the next step. After your ham and your onions have a little bit of color to them, go ahead and turn down the heat. So I went ahead and turned it on about a 4 an electric stove. Mine goes all the way up to 10. So a little bit less than medium. Go ahead and get you, so I'm using canned potatoes. You don't have to use like pre-canned potatoes. You could do raw potatoes if you want and just let the soup cook. I prefer to use my canned potatoes because they're already par cooked, and then the soup is done within like 20 minutes. So go ahead and I'm using 3 cans of potatoes for this base and for the soup. If you want more or less, use more or less. So go ahead and get them rinsed off and cleaned really good and start throwing them in your pot, and then after that we will add the soup base. So here's 1 can going in, and then here's the other 2 cans of potatoes, rinsed, drained, going in the pot as well. Now I am going to go ahead and just measure this out so you guys can get a good idea. Usually I would just start pouring this in, but just for reference so you guys can get a good idea of how much this is going to make. I do half milk, half cream. So I'm going to go ahead and start with 1 cup of milk and 1 cup of cream. If that's not good enough, I will add another cup of each to the pot. Okay, so I can tell just by looking at it that that's not enough. So I would assume that 1 more cup of each is going to be plenty. So I'm going to put 2 cups of milk, 2 cups of cream as the soup base. Okay, so now that the milk and cream is in this, I'm going to go ahead and just let this warm up for a little bit. Again, don't put your oven on like a super high temperature by any means, just like a low and slow, let it warm up, and then we are gonna add the cheese and we are gonna add the seasonings, and then this is done. And for as simple as it is so good. Every single time I make it, my family loves it. And this is actually a recipe my mom used to make us whenever we were little. I loved her ham and potato soup, and so she ended up telling me how to make it, and I was kind of mind blown as I got older how simple and easy this was, but it's always super delicious. So if you're looking for something easy, I highly recommend. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and let this warm up. We will add the rest of the ingredients, but the next step in what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and make the peach crisp. Now, I know ham and potato soup doesn't really go with peach crisp, and that's okay. We're a little unorthodox around here. My daughter asked for cheesy ham and potato soup, and then she also asked for peach crisp. So that's what I'm making. I know it doesn't go together, but oh well, it'll still be delicious. So while that's heating up, I'm gonna go ahead and start on the peach crisp. So I have just this little pie dish out. I'm gonna go ahead and spray it down so that nothing sticks to the bottom too bad. Just a light spray. And then what I like to do, so this one is peach pie filling, and this is just peaches and sugar. So I am just going to drain this one and combine it with this one to add to this. Now you can use just 2 things of peach pie filling if you would like, or just peaches and sugar if you would like. I just like mixing the 2 of them because I think it gives it good taste. So I have a strainer here in my sink. I'm gonna go ahead and get this strained, and then we'll start adding them to the pie dish. And these are actually from last year, so I just canned up another big batch of these, so I need to get them used up anyway. So I'm just gonna strain out all of the liquid. You don't need to rinse them off or anything. I'm just gonna strain out the liquid so that it's not super liquidy in the pie dish with the pie filling. Just gonna stick those in there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and open the pie filling. And then go ahead and give this a good mix together. So after those are all mixed together, we are gonna make the crisp or the topping. So I have my recipe book here. I will link where I got this on Amazon down in the description. I love this recipe book. It's super customizable. And if you know somebody that likes to cook a lot, this makes a really good Christmas gift for people. So I will definitely link this down below. But I have a section in my cookbook for desserts, and this is just the apple crisp topping, but you can use this crisp topping for anything you would like. You could use it for cherries, peaches, apples, whatever kind of crisp you would like to make, go ahead and use it on any of them. So for this recipe specifically, and I will post it down below again, we need a 1/2 cup of flour, 1/3 cup of oats, 2/3 cup brown sugar, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon, 1/4 cup or 1/2 stick melted butter. So again, it's very simple. This goes very quickly. So we will go ahead and get all of that combined and get it on the crisp. But in the meantime, you can go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 and let it warm up. Okay, so I just went ahead and grabbed out a mixing bowl. I'm gonna mix it all up in here, and then we will combine it over there. So, and you don't have to put it in a specific order. You can do all of your dry first if you would like, and then do the butter last. And that's probably what I'm gonna do because all of my ingredients are up in the cupboard, and I kind of have to move things around to get to the other things. So I'll probably put the ingredients in here out of order, but that's okay. Brown sugar, half cup of flour, 1/3 of a cup of oats, so it's a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm not going to measure it, but if you would like to measure it, half a teaspoon. And then 1/4 teaspoon salt. I'm just going to do a pinch. I'm going to go ahead and mix up all of the dry ingredients, and then I will get the butter incorporated. So I just went ahead and warmed up the butter like from the stick in this bowl so it wasn't so messy. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in and stir this all around. And when you're stirring this, it's gonna look like it's not enough butter. I always question every single time that I make this. I'm like, is this enough butter? I promise it's enough butter. You just gotta work it in really good. Okay, so here is what the mixture is looking like, and it will be very crumbly and stick together. Like when you're mixing it, it will feel very grainy, and that's completely normal. So once you get the butter all incorporated into this, the next step is to just dump this entire thing on top of your peach mixture. And if you notice there's some spots at the bottom whenever you go to dump this, just incorporate them as much as you can. Okay, so here is what this is looking like. It's beautiful. It's very, like, the crisp mixture gets very, like, chunky. Like, you'll see little chunks of it everywhere. That's, like, the best part. So I try to not over mix it as much as I can. Just kind of incorporate it so it's still, like, chunky and held together. Because whenever you bite into one of those pieces, that's, like, the absolute best part of a peach crisp. But so this is completely finished. That took us no time at all. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in the oven. The oven's already preheated at 350. And I don't have like a specific time, I guess, for this recipe. I would say anywhere from like 30 to 35 minutes. There's nothing really in here that needs to cook necessarily. You're just trying to crispen up the top. So I would say start with 30 minutes and then check it. If it's not as brown on the top or as crispy as you would like it, then just cook it until it's your desired texture. Okay, so our potato soup is warmed through. It's been over here just warming up while I was making the peach crisp. So I diced up some cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and add it to the pot. Add whatever kind of cheese you want to this. Doesn't have to be super specific, whatever you think would taste the best. And after you add your cheese, I always go ahead and add some garlic salt. Measure with your heart because you can't go wrong with garlic salt. Lots of pepper. And then I go ahead and add just a little bit of homegrown, home dehydrated basil as well. I think it gives cheesy potato soup a good flavor, but if you don't want to use it, then just leave it out. Soups are also like very versatile, so really however you would like to season things, you go ahead. If there's other things that you would like to add to the soup or leave out, do that as well. Again, make it your own. So after the cheese melts, I will taste for seasoning and adjust as needed, and then this soup is completely done. It's that easy, that simple. Like I said, my mom used to make it for us growing up all the time, and my family always really enjoys it. Now, this is a very versatile soup base, especially. You could really add whatever you wanted to this. You could do broccoli, you could do carrots, you could switch the meats out, you could add bacon, you could do chicken. I mean, whatever you had on hand, you could absolutely 100% do. So just get creative with it. If you want some inspiration, start with this and go from there and make it your own. So like I said, I'm gonna let all of this melt. I will adjust. The soup is done. I will check on the peach crisp in about 30 minutes, and then that's it. Dinner's done. All right, guys, so the soup and the peach crisp are both done. I tasted the soup. It's phenomenal. Peach crisp is also phenomenal. It's nice and brown and bubbly and golden, and I'm really looking forward to this. Like I said, I know this is an interesting combo, but my family is about to be home here very shortly, and I know my daughter's going to be very excited to enjoy both of these. So if you give either one of these a try, let me know how you like it. If you switch up either one of the recipes, also let me know down below. I'm always looking for ways to be creative or make a base recipe into something different. So I also just wanted to say thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the future what you guys would like to see. And as always, guys, have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next time.